Hi, I'm George Ellison. This is Dave Scott. We're coming to you from Acme Guitar Works, and we wanted to tell you about this guitar that we're just hot-rodded. This is a Fender Classic Series 60s Stratocaster, so it's a 60s reissue, made in Mexico. We are an authorized Fender dealer. We stock only the Mexican guitars, and we've chosen the Mexican guitars because we think they represent a really good value. They come out of the box as an inherently good guitar. And with our love and care and premium parts, we turn them into really fantastic guitars at really reasonable prices. So this one guitar has had quite a bit done to it, and I'll go through what we've done to it, and then Dave will play it and you'll be able to hear what it sounds like. So it starts as a 60s reissue, and that means that it's got the 7 1/4 inch radius fretboard, and it's got the smaller, the 6230 vintage fret wire. So it feels like a vintage guitar in that regard. We did take the gloss off the back of the neck. Of course, it comes with, it's all high, buffed to a high luster. So we basically make the back of the neck matte. There's a hard line here where it transitions from matte to gloss, so the back of the headstock is still glossy. But we find that that makes it more slippery feeling, there's less friction, and personally I like it. I think that it makes the guitar more comfortable to play. So we did a fret level crown and polish on the guitar because we find that when we really put some time and attention to the frets, that we can get best case playability. And that's what we want. You want the guitar to really play good, and you want it to really sound good. Those are the two key things. And of course, if it looks cool, hey, that's cool too. And we obviously put some focus on that. But the playability and the sound is what really matters to us the most. And so the fretwork makes it play great. We've replaced the nut. It comes with a plastic nut, and we put a genuine bone nut in it because we have to do work on the nut anyway. And we figure, well, if we're going to do some work on the nut, we have to take it out of the guitar to do the frets. We have to cut the nut slots properly. If we're going to do all that, let's just do it with a bone nut, and that way we've used premium material. We can assure that the spacing of the strings is very consistent and all of that. So basically the guitar plays really well down here as a result of the properly cut nut slots, but also it's just a premium material. It sounds good, and it's deluxe. So moving on down here, we did a Callahan tremolo on this guitar. So these guitars, even though it's a 60s reissue guitar, because it's Mexican, it ships from Fender with a zinc tremolo block. And the original guitars had a solid steel tremolo block. It's cheaper to cast a metal part than it is to machine a metal part. And again, in keeping with the cost-cutting nature of the Mexican guitar, sort of the value price point, they skimp a little on the hardware. We put a really premium Callahan tremolo on this guitar. And the Callahan tremolo is just beautifully made. It's a really nice piece. And then also we've changed the springs. Now you can't see the springs behind this cover. The guitar ships from Fender with 3 springs, but we use springs from Raw Vintage, and Raw Vintage has a lower tension. So we actually have to go from 3 springs to 4 springs. With the Raw Vintage springs because of the lower tension, but it makes the tremolo feel really nice. They feel really smooth. The other thing is that the Callahan tremolo arm has no play in it, and so this tremolo is just really comfortable to use, and it's beautifully made of the finest materials. It's the tremolo to have. Wiring wise, we've completely changed the guitar. We put a black perloid pickguard on it. It came with a mint green pickguard. The mint green pickguard and all of the stock electronics will ship with the guitar to the original owner, who can then sell it on eBay or whatever they like to do. But this guitar, it's a genuine Fender pickguard. It's the 60s, 62 reissue black pearloid. So it's the right screw pattern. It's got this screw here rather than here. So it's the vintage 11-hole pattern. It's got the countersunk holes for the screws and for the switch like a 60s pickguard would have. And we put the full aluminum shield plate behind it. Fender ships these guitars with a foil on the back of the pickguard just in this area. But in the 60s, or 62 anyway, a Stratocaster would have come with a full aluminum shielding plate that's separate from the pickguard. It just is sandwiched between the pickguard and the body. Fender still makes that. They use it on the American 62 reissue Strats. And so we put one on here, but we also shielded the entire control cavity with shielding paint so that now you've really got a complete box, a shielded cavity, a shielded cover, the pickguard, or rather the shield plate behind the pickguard. And so we don't get the kind of hum from EMI and RFI sources like magnetic ballasts and transformers and you name it, all of the stuff that's in our modern electronic world that causes hum. Also, in the interest of reducing hum, we put in Fralin split bay pickups. So basically, a lot of companies make single coil sized humbucking pickups. There are a couple of different approaches. One is you're trying to make the guitar sound like it's got humbuckers in it, but you don't want to do any routing, so they need to be single coil size. The other is that you're really trying to make it sound like a true single coil. You just don't want the hum. And that's the strategy that's employed here with the Fralin split blades. They're really trying to sound like Strat single coils, just without the hum. This is the vintage model of his pickups. He makes several different output levels, but Fralin has a unique approach to this. Rather than using two full-length coils that are either side by side or over under, he actually uses two short coils. So it's kind of like the original P-bass pickup. You've got one coil for the plain strings on this guitar and one coil for the wound strings on each of the pickups. So it's two short coils that are butted together. They use a blade design so that there's no dropout, in the magnetic field when you bend strings. And the two in the center, the two magnets sort of angle and cross each other so that when you bend strings across the center point, there's no dropout. That's the reason for that angled blade in the center there. It's a unique design. You'll get to hear how it sounds when Dave plays it. But we've also wired the controls a little differently than normal. We've talked to customers who love the two position, the bridge middle, but not the four position. Now Dave's the opposite. Dave says, no, I love the four position. I used the four position extensively on Stratocasters for years myself, but what we've done instead on this guitar, instead of giving you the neck middle in the four position like would normally be the case, we give you the neck and the bridge. So the deal is that on a Telecaster you can get the neck and the bridge pickups on a Stratocaster you can't. Lots of different ways that you can wire a Stratocaster so you can get the neck and the bridge. This is one way, and basically it says in the four position you're going to forego having the neck and middle, and instead you're going to have the neck and the bridge. So for some people that's going to be a really cool thing. Other people it's not. Probably the buyer of this guitar will think it's a cool thing. So the two position is the bridge middle. The four position is the bridge neck. In either position, you can press this little push button switch, and in the down position, you're in series, and in the up position, you're in parallel. So again, in the two position, you got the bridge middle in parallel, the way they normally would be wired. Press the little button in, and now these two are in series. It's a little more powerful. It's a little louder. You'll hear the boost in output and gain. And then the same here. You can have, if the switch is up, you have these two in parallel like a Telecaster in the middle position. Press the button in, and now you get these two in series. So it's just a little tonal flexibility in the two and the four positions only by toggling the little mini switch. Other than that, the one The 3 and the 5 are just like a normal Strat, either bridge, middle, or neck pickup. And then finally, we did a little different thing with the tone controls, so that we've tied this tone control solely to the one position on the switch. And the reason for that is because sometimes on a Stratocaster, you may find that the bridge pickup is a little bright, you want to roll off a little treble, but then when you go to the 2 position and you get the bridge middle, you may not want that treble roll off to follow you as you move the switch. In this case, it doesn't. This tone control becomes inactive in the 2 position, which is, you have to use a super switch to be able to do that. A normal Strat 5-way, you can't do that. So again, you've got a tone control dedicated to the 1 position. This tone control works in the other 4 positions, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You get this tone control. So that's about it. It's pretty extensively modified. It's a cool guitar. I think it looks great with that black pearloid pickguard on there. And now Dave will play it, and you can hear how it sounds.
Start on the bridge. Go up to bridge and middle. Switches out so it's parallel. Series. Go up to middle. Turn off some of that reverb.
Hey! Need to replace those tubes.
I'll go back to this. Okay, middle pickup. Okay, so when we go to this position, we are neck and bridge.
That's right.
And put the switch out to start with, so we're in parallel. switch in.
I love the way that position sounds.
It does. Sounds really nice. Switch in. Little extra beef on it.
I hate those, man.
Well, why is that? Okay, we'll beef it up a little. Beef it up a little. Bridge and neck, parallel. Great sounding guitar.
That guitar is weird. So do some. Come on, man, keep playing. That sounds good too. Do some like Van completely pro level quality instrument. And,
It does. It feels as good as any custom shop Strat. It really feels nice. What did I? Does that mean? You're not allowed to say that?
So anyway, we've always got guitars like this available on our website. We love them. You know, they're reasonably priced. They're great guitars. They look super cool. That is really important after all. And so check us out on the website. And if you don't see what you want, then give us a call, and we will modify something to your liking. Thanks very much for watching. I'm leaving all that shit in there.
You're really not.